Hey Grace Kids! Welcome back to Grace Kids TV. My name is GK Robot and it is so great to be joining you again today. In today's lesson, we will learn about the story when Joshua challenged the people. Did you face any challenges this week? Did anything get in the way of what you wanted to do? What happened? When we face challenges, we might work through them or run the other way. In today's story, we'll see what the Israelites did when Joshua gave them a challenge. As Joshua prepared for his own death, he left behind a legacy of obedience to God. After Jesus' death and resurrection, he appeared to the disciples and left them with a legacy, to obey him by making disciples of all nations. But before we get to today's story, let's head over to Grace Kids Trivia to see what you remember from last week's story about the time God gave the people the land. Good luck!
Question 1. True or false? God was with Joshua and the Israelites while they went into the Promised Land. They took over cities and made peace with the people in Gideon. And the answer is true. This was true. And this actually leads us to our second question of the day. Question 2. True or false? 3 kings made a plan to attack the city of Gideon. The men of Gideon let Joshua know about this, so Joshua and his army went to help the people of Gideon. And the answer is false. This was a really tough one, but everything in this question was true, except that there were 5 kings that made a plan to attack Gideon, not 3. But Joshua and his army did go to help the people of Gideon. Question 3. True or false? God was with Joshua and the Israelites when they won the battle against the 5 kings and their armies. And the answer is true. This was definitely true. The 5 kings made a plan to attack Gideon, but the men of Gideon asked Joshua to help and save them. God said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of the kings. I will help you win against them." So Joshua and his army went to help the people of Gideon. The king's armies were surprised to see that the Israelites were there. God helped the Israelites to win this battle. But the king's armies ran away, and the battle wasn't over yet. God sent hail, which is like ice from the sky, and the Israelites needed more time to fight before the sun went down. And that leads us to our next question of the day. Question 4. True or false? God made the sun and moon freeze in the sky for almost a full day for the Israelites to have more time to win the battle. And the answer is true. This was true. Joshua prayed to God and said, "God, please make the sun and the moon stay still in the sky." God made the sun and the moon stand still in the sky just like Joshua had prayed for. This gave Israel and Gideon enough time to beat their enemies. As the Israelites traveled in the Promised Land, God fought for his people and helped Joshua and the Israelites take over the land that God had promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For many years, the people of Israel did not fight any battles. God gave them peace and rest from their enemies. And our final question of the day, question 5, true or false? Joshua's name means "the Lord is salvation." God fought for Joshua and the Israelites, saving them and giving them victory over their enemies. And the answer is true. This was true again. Just like God saved the Israelites, God saved sinners by sending his son Jesus to die on the cross. Jesus gives us victory over sin and death.
Hi friends, it's me, Megan, and I'm Jessie. Hey Megan, do you remember that time we went horseback riding and you let me ride on your horse with you so I wouldn't be scared?
Oh, I do remember that. We had so much fun and you did great.
Yeah, we did have fun. So, do you remember that time you sprayed sunblock on me so I wouldn't get sunburned?
Oh yeah, I do. I think you were able to play outside all day without getting burned.
Yep. And do you remember that time I was sad I didn't get to go ice skating and you made me feel better?
I do. Jesse, you are so sweet to remember all these things.
Aw, thanks. You're my good friend, Megan.
Aw, we are good friends, Jesse. You remembering things I've done for you reminds me of our Bible story.
It does?
Yeah, in today's Bible story, Joshua told the Israelites to remember what God had done for them and how God kept every promise he made to them. Let me tell you the story, friend.
Joshua was getting old. For many years, God had given the people of Israel peace and rest from their enemies. They had not fought any battles. One day, Joshua gathered all of the Israelites. He had some important things to tell them. Joshua said, "Remember what God has done for you. When you were in battle, God fought for you. I want you to be strong. Do everything God told you to do. Do not disobey God, and do not turn away from God. Trust Him." Joshua said, "God has never broken a promise to you." Then Joshua reminded the people of everything God had done for them in the past. God had called Abraham and given him a son, Isaac. God had given Isaac 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. God had rescued the Israelites from the Egyptians. God had done so many great things for his people. Joshua said to the people, "Will you worship God or false gods? As for me and my family, we will worship the Lord." The people replied, "We will not worship other gods. We know how much God has done for us, and we love Him." The people remembered that God had helped them win battles against their enemies. They remembered how He protected them as they traveled. Joshua gave the people a warning. If you do turn away from God to worship other gods, God will turn against you. He will destroy you. The people said again, "We will worship the Lord." On that day, Joshua made an agreement with the people. He set up a large stone under an oak tree and said, "When you see this stone, remember that you promised to worship the Lord. God always keeps His promises." Then Joshua sent the people back to their homes. Before Joshua died, he left the Israelites with a task: obey God. After Jesus' death and resurrection, Jesus appeared to his disciples and left them with a task: obey him by telling others about him.
Kids, for our craft this week, we are going to make a house, and all that you're going to need is this printout that looks like a house, some little tissue paper squares or little pieces of paper that you can rip up, something to glue the paper on with, and then something to color with. And I'm going to show you exactly how to make this craft. Are you ready? First, you're going to draw some people in the house to show your family and friends who live with you. then you're going to use your tissue paper squares to decorate the top of the house to make it look like a roof or anything that you would like to make it look like. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue and then attach the squares. And then my craft is done. And it says, share a time when God helped your family. Pray and thank God that He still works wonders in our families today. And this is from the Bible in the book Psalm, chapter 77, verse 14. On the direction page, it says, before Joshua died, he reminded the people about the times when God helped them. Joshua wanted families to choose to worship God and only God. Joshua told the people to obey God. Many years later, Joshua told his disciples the same thing: obey God by telling others about Him. So this craft reminds us of our story and how we are able to share stories of how God has helped our own families and our own lives. I hope that you guys have a great week. Thanks so much for watching, Grace Kids.